It's the big three, it's the dream team. Adam, Bobby, Josh, you got the news feed. It's the big three, it's the dream team. Big three, IDP, let's go.
What's up, you diehards, you degenerates, you lovers of defensive football? This is Josh Raymer, and we are back with another episode of the Big Three IDP podcast. And I'm joined in the Sode Shack tonight by one Adam Markham.
Yes, sir. Sounding awful good, Josh.
You ready for that year two leap?
Yes, sir.
So if you can't, you can kind of see it on the Periscope tonight. We have the new mixer, the soundboard. She's a beaut. Adam is in love. We've got some sound effects. Adam, that is a fart with reverb, in case you were wondering. We also have for tonight's Sode, Addy.
Yes.
Yes, because we are going to be doing training camp hype storylines. Yes or BS, Addy. And so tonight you're going to hear a lot of the sound effects from the board. We are very excited. It's a lot more colorful in here now, and the sound quality is going to be going through the roof, Addy. We're just very excited for our listeners. You hit me with the crickets already? Adam's just going to be pushing all the buttons tonight is the moral of the story, folks.
Right. That's what I'm known to do. I'm known to push some buttons.
Yeah, I need to get this on the other side where Bobby's side, because I trust him to touch it a little less.
Yeah, I was thrilled to see this over here by me.
I don't know why I put that there. What was I thinking?
Good idea.
It's because the power strip is right over here by the TV. I just need to move the whole thing over.
You stays here. It stays here.
No, I don't think so. I don't. You got a evil look in your eye right now.
I need it. I'm gonna take it home with me tonight.
You're gonna sleep with it in your bed. All right. I'm not expecting it to come back in pristine condition. That's for sure.
That's right. Don't put it under a black light.
Yeah, don't do that. Hey, speaking of black light, Addy, I think we're gonna start off the Sode here with an apology. We are known for all things fast food, and I think you need to offer up a little olive branch here to one of our local establishments.
Yeah, I need to apologize to Zaxby's. I said some bad things about them. You know, when I was going through that Canes
mania.
I mean, yeah, I was going through
you caught it,
a big cane stretch. I was a caniac. Let's not beat around the bush. So yeah, I was talking down on Zaxby's a little bit. I remember when I was going through that Canes episode, I went to Zaxby's and I think I even said on the Sode that I had a hard time finishing it. I said some bad things about
That's
Zaxby's.
Hurtful. If Zaxby was listening,
no,
he was hurt.
I know. I hope Zach's isn't listening out there. But the Canes, it's kind of the newness, the
excitement.
It's all kind of worn
off. The honeymoon phase is over.
It's over.
It's over.
I went back to Zaxby's and I had a great time. I had a really good time.
But see, you go through phases with your fast food. You tend to glom on to one establishment and just milk it till the cow is dead and sucked dry.
Yep.
And then you move on to something, and you'll be back.
I'll be back.
Canes knows you'll be back. They're not worried. Zaxby's is happy to have you back.
Zaxby's is great. Zaxby's is so good. I'm a big fan of the nibblers. That's what I've been
nibbling on.
I like the Zax sauce. I think I talked bad on it. It's good. It's actually good. I like that they give you a lot more of it.
Now, you have long been a proponent of getting their wings tossed in sauce. What is it there?
Yeah, so you can dip them there. So I've always liked, and I haven't been doing that. I've just been getting them straight up.
Just straight up.
Just,
not tossed at all.
Cane style. Just
all right.
Classic tender.
Wow. Going back to your roots, essentially.
Just giving them a fair shake again.
Okay. Comparing them apples to apples to Raising Cane's.
Again, I felt bad. I kind of felt bad about this.
I can appreciate that.
I've been eating Zaxby's for I've been back on it for 3 or 4 weeks now.
Yeah.
But, I was really trashing them.
You feel good in your soul, your body, your intestines, not feeling so good.
I'm fine. It's good. I've built up the tolerance for all this stuff now. I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Good. Till I have a fucking heart attack.
Just a massive heart attack. Cardiologist is going to have a field day with you.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I was thinking today when I was eating Zaxby's, I need to talk about them. Not
well, you're a big man for apologizing, for trying to make things right, Addy. I'm sure Zach, if he's out there listening, appreciates that.
Yeah, man. You got good food. Keep it going, Zach.
Keep it going, Zach. All right. So The only real piece of news that we're going to touch on here, Addie, before we get into the training camp storylines, because that's where most of the news is going to kind of filter in here, is that it was just announced probably 20 or 30 minutes before we came on air that Ron Rivera has cancer. Now, this is obviously, as a Colts fan, Chuck Pagano, with his leukemia, the first season that he was hired as the Colts head coach, very familiar with how this plays out. And I know Ron Rivera is optimistic right now. I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, that Chuck Pagano lasted 4 weeks. Now, leukemia is different from what Ron Rivera has. So the effects could absolutely be different. But my guess is that once he actually starts treatment, you're probably going to see an interim head coach come in for Ron Rivera this season, which is unfortunate because they're in the midst of doing some good things right now. The whole organization is, and you hate to see Ron Rivera not get to be a part of that potentially for part of the season.
Yeah, I hate that for Ron Rivera. So yeah, best wishes to him. Hope everything goes okay with that. Gosh, what a tough little stretch here for Ron Rivera to have to deal with. You know, I know we're all happy that he got the job in Washington, but good Lord.
Yeah.
Some obstacles to overcome.
Just a few, but you do. I mean, Ron Rivera is the type of person that is going to be able to, I think, overcome those obstacles, you know? So
you hope that Washington can maybe lean on him and play for him and maybe, you know, outperform kind of their expectations this year. It'd be nice to see.
Yeah. So it's lymph node cancer. It's in the early stages, very treatable, very curable. So sounds like from what we're seeing, not necessarily something that is life-threatening, but probably expect him not to be able to finish out the full season. So you're right. This could be, I mean, I know the Colts were kind of left for dead that rookie season that Luck had when Pagano was in because they were such a young team, lots of turnover, but they you know, a lot of analysts are quick to dispel narrative street and not want to factor in these kind of like intangible storylines, but the Colts absolutely played above their heads, punched above their weight for Chuck Pagano.
Yep.
I think we could see something similar happen here in Washington.
Yeah. And then me and Johnny touched on in our DFS pod, that defense is going to be scary. I mean, there's a lot of unknowns about that team. We don't know what Haskins is going to look like. The offseason buzz was all good and everything, but again, just similar to the Chargers, there's just a lot of unknown, but there's definitely upside there.
There is, yeah. I mean, it's a team that could absolutely outperform expectations because expectations are so low.
Yeah, and they could just grind out some wins with that defense, you know.
There is something to be said when you don't have the weight of expectation, that every time that you take the field, you're going to be expected to lose just about. That's going to be the Washington football team in 2020. So they can play fast and loose, and whatever happens, hey, if they win some games, that's more than I think a lot of people are expecting for them.
Yep. Shout out Ron Rivera, man. Hope you get better.
Seriously, I'm really excited to see what he can do with this program, and hopefully this is just a temporary setback for Riverboat Ron. So, Addie, let's get into the training camp hype storyline. So the premise for tonight is, are we buying into these storylines or not? So essentially, is it a
YASSS
or is it a yes or BS, Addie?
They're just all going to be BS because we're going to touch that.
I know. We just want to hit the fart just 24 times here. So, yeah, we've got 24 storylines. I went through every team.
Sir, one for every hour of the day.
That was my thinking. Exactly, Addie. So we tried to find one for every team, but there weren't juicy storylines around IDP relevant players for every team. So you're not going to hear everyone represented, but you are going to hear 24 teams represented with off-season storylines. So let's kick it off, Addie. An injury to one of the biggest, I would say, upcoming rising stars in IDP at the linebacker position. Mack Wilson is hoping to miss just 6 to 8 weeks with a knee injury. We're waiting for the swelling to go down to see if it's going to be more serious or not. Are you buying? Is it yes or BS for a 6 to 8 week miss for Mack?
Yes.
You're buying it?
I'm buying it.
You're buying it. Okay, so
I'm
you're
buying it.
optimistic about this.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, well, the fact that they didn't know immediately if it was torn or not, the fact that he's going for, to see Dr. James Andrews, just gives me a little bit of, optimism. I mean, I think that would be something that they would know immediately. So the fact that they still haven't, released what it is, I think that's good news.
Yeah.
So they're looking into it further. So my hope is it's not an ACL and it's something, like you said, like it's probably a torn MCL or LCL or whatever, and it's a 6 to 8 week type injury.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's ACL, but I'm calling BS on this one. I just don't see. I think 6 to 8 weeks is so optimistic, and it looks like our boy Boo Bam here agrees with us. So he's going BS as well. I'm hopeful that's not the case. The IDP fan of me wants Mac Wilson on the field.
Mm-hmm.
But
have him everywhere, pretty much.
Exactly. So we don't want him to be hurt. I just think a knee injury. This is where I wish we had Dr. Leasis on. We were supposed to do the NFC.
That's kind of why I went that
West
route.
Preview tonight, but Dr. Leasis feel better, dealing with some health stuff going on right now. He's okay. Everyone, don't panic. We're gonna have Dr. Leasis on hopefully next week to do the NFC West preview. But I'd love to hear right now his take. Maybe we can hit him up in our Slack, Addy, and see if he'll put out a Mac Wilson take, how he's feeling about this knee injury.
Yeah, that's the least he can do.
That's right. So let's move on to number 2 here. Michael Lombardi had quite a day on Twitter yesterday, saying that he believed the Jaguars were going to be trading Yannick Ngakoue within 24 hours, and then fell victim. I'll admit I fell victim to it too. The fake Adam Schefter account to back up his his report that Yannick was going to be traded. This fake Schefter account had him going to the Ravens for like a 2021 pick, and Gus Edwards of all people.
Random.
So Lombardi retweeted that and then doubled down. He didn't
he quote tweeted it with well.
Exactly. And then doubled down again, saying something about they deserve GM of the year or something like that. The Ravens do.
To bring in Calais Campbell and now Yannick.
Yeah. So, and it just makes sense. It's like, oh, well, let's make up a fake tweet and have him going to the Ravens just like Calais did.
Also, dude, I didn't even think about that. I didn't even put that together. They just for on the Jags together.
Exactly. Yeah. So, So do we think that Yannick is close to being on the move? I am going to say BS to this one, just because I think the Jaguars really do have him in their plans, and there's a chance he gets moved. But if I was a gambling man, I'd put money on Yannick being on the field for the Jags week 1. So I don't think if the trade is happening, I don't think it's happening right now.
I don't think it's BS.
Yes.
Yes, you're buying this one?
I think he's going to get traded.
You think he's going to get traded?
I think that's a toxic situation there. I think that, I think it's the time is now. The place is now. I think we're going to see a trade within the next 2 weeks, Joshy.
You think he's going to be in a different uniform before the season starts?
I do.
All right. Well, we shall see. This is interesting, Addy. We had kind of a new phrase enter the lexicon this past week with Melvin Ingram. We talked about his ridiculously awesome introduction on Hard Knocks that he is doing. He's essentially holding in. So he's not holding out. He's not, staying away from training camp because there's really ridiculous fines now in the new CBA for guys who hold out. So he is at training camp. He's just not practicing. He's just like, I'm good. I'm just going to hang out over here until you guys give me a new deal. So this, we can sit here and speculate on whether Ingram's going to get a new deal. That's not the interesting part of the story to me. I don't think he is, for what it's worth. I think they proved with Melvin Gordon last year, when they feel that a guy is being appropriately paid, and depending on where he is in their future plans, they're just not going to pay him. So I don't see him getting paid. But the more interesting piece here, and I actually saw Sigmund Bloom talk about this, was that Uchenna Nwasu is actually going to be the recipient basically of Melvin Ingram if he decides to take this hold into the season, Addy. So are you buying arrow up for Uchenna Nwasu? BS?
BS. No, I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, Melvin Ingram, he's going to be out there.
You don't think he's going to miss any games with this?
I'd be shocked. I mean, Although that team's kind of in flux. I mean, it's when you do kind of worry with veterans like that when there is such newness with the new quarterback. You wonder if like they're kind of concerned that this is going to be like a washed year. So yeah, I mean that kind of gives me some pause, but I don't know. Melvin Ingram. I mean, based on how he showed up, in that Hard Knocks seg. I mean, I think he's pretty motivated. I think he wants to get out there.
I think maybe he was trying to win public sentiment to his side before this contract dispute with the team.
That's a good point.
And I was like, yeah, it worked. I'm on board with Melvin Ingram.
I'm a big fan.
So I think that I'm actually going to go yes on this one. I think that Ingram is going to try to drag this out for a couple games. I don't think he's going to hold out as long as Melvin Gordon did. But I think he's going to test the waters to see if him missing games, because right now he really doesn't have any leverage. They've got a guy in Nwasu who they can bring in and plug the gap that they now have with him holding out. So I think Melvin Ingram is going to test the waters. He's going to see, can I get any leverage by not playing in these games? And the Jags come back, or the Chargers come back and say, okay, Melvin, we need you on the field. What do you want? Let's get this deal done. So I think this is a nice time to go buy Nwasu, because either he's going to get some play and he's going to be valuable, or the Chargers are signaling to us by not giving Ingram a deal that Uchenna is the guy going forward.
That's a good point. He's definitely someone you need to probably add for fantasy just because of the uncertainty. And this just could be the tea leaves, where maybe Ingram's done after this year.
I think that's the way I'm reading this situation. Is the Chargers are going to tell us a lot by what they do with Melvin Ingram's contract situation.
Yep.
So
he's free. Yeah. You should
pick him up.
Probably pick him up.
Just stash him. Just see what happens.
Yeah.
This could be a situation where you get some good value week 1 or week 2 before Ingram comes back. So shifting over from Los Angeles to Las Vegas, we have Jonathan Abram getting some hype. This is something that we actually had already mentioned earlier, because I'm a Jonathan Abram fan. I have shares of him in various leagues at this point, including our main XFFL league. But apparently, Jonathan Abram in tremendous shape and could lead Las Vegas in tackles this year. BS?
Yes.
You going linebackers are going to lead the team in tackles?
For sure.
Yeah. I think
Corey
so
Littleton
too.
or Nick Quick is the correct choice there.
Yeah, I think I'm going BS as well. As much as I love Abram, it's just hard for a safety to lead the team in tackles.
Yeah.
It can happen. I mean, Budda Baker,
right.
Exhibit A. But when you have, good linebackers in front of the safeties like Littleton and Nick Quick, it's just, I would give Abram, let's ballpark it in terms of percentage odds here, Addy. I'd say there's a 15% chance Abram leads the team in tackles. You going above or below that?
Yeah, about that.
10 or 15,
15%.
Yeah, 15%. It can happen, but I'm not buying in. So this is a player I know that you've had a soft spot for a while, Addy, from my beloved Indianapolis Colts. This is Denico Autry, typically thought of, at least in my mind, because of the way he's designated in RSO, as a defensive tackle. He's been getting a lot of run, though, at defensive end as the Colts have opened up training camp. Now, it's important to note, Kamoko Toure currently on the PUP. So, are you buying Denico Autry at defensive end this year?
Before we get to that, I do want to touch on one thing for the last little bit. Budda Baker didn't even lead his own team in tackles.
Did Jordan Hicks?
Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking of,
but isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy?
Led safeties and tackles, right?
That's just, but that just shows you how freaking hard that is for safety to do.
We should go back and look and see if there's any safety that's led. Maybe did Jamal Adams lead the Jets in tackles?
Logan Ryan led the Titans in tackles.
Did he? Okay.
I think.
He was like the number 1 DB in our sleeper league, so he had to be getting some outrageous tackles.
He had over 110.
He sees himself as a safety, though.
Yeah, well, that's clever by his agent.
Yeah,
to
good job. That. So, Denico Autry, defensive end? Nah, not buying it.
No way. I bought in last year with the offseason hype. He looks great in the offseason. He did last year as well. No, not doing it. He's not the piece I'm focused on there. I'm looking for. I'm a big fan of
Kamoko Toure.
Of course, yeah.
I love Toure.
I put a tweet out a few weeks ago about Toure. He was. I know it was limited sample size. He only played 81 snaps last year, but he was PFF's highest graded edge rusher. I think he had like 15 pressures in those 81 snaps.
That's pretty good.
Something crazy.
That's a very high percentage.
So yeah, I'm a big fan of him, and I think with the addition of Buckner, that's going to be big, and he's going to be one of those guys that's kind of slept on and not focused on as much. And he's going to have a really good shot at getting to the quarterback if he's healthy. Which that's what I'm definitely monitoring that situation.
Yeah,
he hasn't practiced yet, right?
He is not. He's on the pup. So yeah, I'm calling BS as well. I think that Toure is going to be the defensive piece there that you want to own. I would say it's Buckner number 1 along the line for me, then Justin Houston, and then Kamoko Toure as far as that defensive line. If you want to stash Autry just in case Toure's health is questionable, I wouldn't mind that as like a taxi squad or back of your bench type of stash. But no, I'm not buying him as the starting defensive end opposite Justin Houston if Kamoko Toure is healthy. So monitor that situation. Let's move to Buffalo and talk about AJ Epinesa playing multiple positions and is an absolute beast. The drum beat out of training camp. You buying it, Addy?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, not where I thought you were going with that one.
AJ Esposito.
That's right. When I made you read those names, I immediately regretted it on the draft pod.
Yeah, don't do that to me, Josh.
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
But yeah, why not? He should have an opportunity. No more Jordan Phillips, no more Shaq Lawson. They desperately need some help there on that line. So
yeah, Jerry Hughes, you have Ed Oliver.
Yeah,
but
Jerry Hughes is old. They need some young talent in there.
I know this is a guy, I think I might have actually just taken him off my top 50 D-line redraft ranks. Is this the guy we should maybe be bumping up a little bit with some of this hype?
I think we could, maybe expect him to start out slow, similar to like what Crosby and all that stuff, how some of those guys kind of get off to slow starts.
Well, they work in. Crosby was just getting the snaps and earning the coach's trust,
Yeah. So we could see a similar situation here. Maybe he starts off a little slow, but then picks up and is dominant down the stretch.
Yeah, you convinced me.
Yes.
I'm going with yes. I think you're right. There is so much opportunity there. And we like this Buffalo defense. We think this team is going to be really solid. I think they're returning like in the 90s, like 95% of their snaps, I think it was on offense. I was listening to the fantasy footballers talk about that. But in terms of continuity across the board, they haven't lost a lot of starters. So this defense should be good.
And we like the offense better. I mean, I like the offense to, keep the defense off the field. So yeah, I'm big on that Buffalo team this year. I think that's the best team in the division.
I agree. By
a good amount.
Yeah, I would say so. Because we won't get into it in this episode because it's offense related, but the quarterback situation in New England is not sounding
Sounds not good.
Sounds not good with Hoyer and Stidham and Cam Newton. Because as much as I've heard Stidham is struggling and Brian Hoyer is just Brian Hoyer, Cam Newton's not exactly taking this thing by the reins yet.
No, and Edelman's limping, and N'Keal Harry can't get separation, and
it may be an ugly season in New England. Which
not great.
Make me so happy, but they'll still win 12 games somehow.
No, they'll just tank, and then they'll get one of those quarterbacks and then dominate for the next.
Just stop it. Just stop it. Don't talk about
that.
They'll
freeze Bill Belichick.
Yeah, they'll clone him. They'll have like a young Bill Belichick at like age 40 coming out.
Or he's got his little freak son.
His little mullet son. Just such a weird looking human being. It's like, hold on, time out. Where did you come from?
No, he just appeared.
He just dropped out of the sky.
He never knew he had a child.
Can you imagine Bill Belichick as a father?
No, man.
Not at all.
No.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah.
So speaking of one of our other favorite coaches, Greg Williams, in between dyeing his goatee, making sure it's perfectly manicured, he is talking up Ashton Davis's work ethic and football IQ. So, Addy, yes or BS to the Ashton Davis hype? Oh, the backflip video and the catch. You're not buying in?
And I like Ashton Davis. I made plenty of tweets about go get Ashton Davis when all this stuff with Jamal Adams was going on, But I think he's a year away. I think from everything I've been seeing, Marcus May has been really impressive.
Really,
he's everywhere.
Okay.
So that's someone that I'm kind of curious about now. And also I think Bradley McDougal's going to get plenty of playing time.
I think you will. I mean, if you had to own one of those Jets safeties, are you going for May right now, or
May,
going,
I think
going
May's,
for May?
I think May's the one I'm going to go with. Yeah, it was. Well, honestly, I wasn't really sure. I was kind of waiting to see, but based on everything I'm seeing with training camps, that seems to be the guy that they like the most, and seems to be the Jamal replacement. So
is Marcus May.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go actually. Yes, I am buying in on the Ashton Davis hype. Not the backflip. Yeah, it got my heart doing a little fluttering there, but this is more about, and maybe the Marcus May breakout is upon us. Bradley McDougald, like Tom Kislingberry said, long disrespected, overlooked safety there from Seattle. I'm not like thrilled with either of the options, so why not? I think you're right that it could be we're a year or two early, but he's a rookie in a nice situation.
Yeah, not
as nice as like Jeremy Chin, for example, but he does have an opportunity if he can separate from the pack. And I'm going to put my money on Davis. We'll see. I want to hear more reports though coming out of training camp. But if you've got Greg Williams already talking you up, who never liked Jamal Adams,
that's true.
That is a helpful thing to keep in mind. If you can curry favor with the bleach blonde goateed one himself, that's pretty good. Speaking of Jets, Quinnen Williams said he has his body right, his confidence back, and he feels unstoppable.
Mr. Unstoppable. He should do that.
Should just riff on Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
So are you buying Quinnen Williams is unstoppable this season, Addy? Yeah, that's for me. Let's just double up. Just give me another fart. Just all the farts. I had Quinnen Williams at the end of last season, so he didn't like kill my team because I wasn't starting him for most of the year. But God, that was a turd of a rookie season.
Yeah, not ideal. And I mean, I don't.
He'll be better, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in leagues where you got to start a defensive tackle, sure, he should be maybe be your DT 2 or 3.
I was gonna say DT 3, but how many teams are carrying 3 defensive tackles?
Oof.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to carry 2, and I don't think he's making the cut in my top 24.
Yeah,
I think he finished as like D tackle 48.
Yeah,
so 49 last year.
Probably nowhere to go but up. And I mean, we liked him. He was a top 5 pick. We were excited about him. I mean, sometimes just these guys it's a shock when you enter the league and it takes a little bit of time to develop. So maybe that's the situation here. Glad that he's not going to be in any trouble for the gun stuff. Right?
Yeah, that's good.
So that's good.
That's positive. Yeah, Mr. Unstoppable though. No, miss me with that.
Now,
Quinnen Williams.
The Jets, they have been rumored. This is Mike Lombardi saying, "Okay, well, I'm going to give you some real stuff." The Jets are one of the teams that are apparently in on Yannick.
Okay. Now that would make things a little more interesting.
That gives Quinnen some help in there.
It does, which is desperately needed at this point.
Yeah, that's the problem, really. That's why I'm not really excited about Quinnen. There's just not a lot of help around him.
That may be the worst defense in the NFL. Now that Jamal Adams
is bad.
That team,
and no more CJ Mosley this year. That's a terrible team.
Could be a low key favorite for the number 1 overall pick next year.
They should. I mean, and I haven't been hearing good things about Darnold.
Yeah, I mean, I just think we've talked about it ad nauseum. I don't think that Adam Gase is going to be the coach next season. Yeah. I think they're going to be bad again this year. And God, that defense. I mean, I know we like. Oh gosh, no, I'm thinking of the New York Giants. Is there any piece on this team that you want right now
on defense?
Yeah,
I mean, I like Avery Williamson.
Yeah,
I'm
Avery.
I'm going to be interested in Neville Hewitt and Blake Cashman a little bit, but outside of that, no, not really. Well, I mean, those safeties, we'll see what happens there. But again, there's a lot of uncertainty there. We don't know.
Safety's pretty nice this year, though. I don't know unless it's a really deep league and you're starting like 3 or 4 safeties that I'm rolling the dice on.
I don't have any of them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't own them anywhere.
I can tell people to go, keep them on your radar, but I don't have any of these guys. So I do have Avery Williamson in a lot of places, and Neville Hewitt, I think, is. I tweeted earlier in the year. We've talked so much about continuity. That should be the guy that we're clued in on. He had the most snaps for the linebackers last year.
So pay attention to Neville Hewitt.
I think so. I think it's going to be Neville Hewitt and Avery Williamson and Blake Cashman sprinkled in and maybe having a larger role by the end of the year.
All right. Well, just eternal Adam Gase take is basically as a head coach.
Get Adam Gase out of there.
Forever and always, he is a turd.
That's what sucks for Sam Darnold. It could be a very much like a Jared Goff, Fisher situation where we just can't evaluate him until Gase is out of town.
Imagine if he had gotten a coach like Matt Rule, if they had been able to land.
That sucks, man. It's just you're so much a product of your environment, when where you're drafted. It does suck.
We have a question from Boobam, Cashman/Hewitt or Williamson. You're going Williamson.
I'm going Williamson. I know that he's not practicing yet, but man, this is a guy that in 2018 I think he had about 120 tackles for him. He's gonna be great there once he's on the field. And the injury happened last preseason. I think they're just setting him out and being cautious with him because they can, and he's a veteran. And what's the point of risking it? They want him there.
They need him at this point.
They need him there.
He's their number one linebacker.
So they're just taking it easy. I expect him to be, I've got him a lot of places. I'm expecting him to be back week 1. I think we should probably see him maybe be eased back into practice the next week or two.
All right. Well, let's move to another team in the division there. Kyle Duggar was called one of the best players on the field this week for the New England Patriots. Kyle Duggar breakout. Hit me, Addy.
Yeah.
You're big. You were talking to us in our private Slack about Kyle Duggar.
I like it, man. I don't think that team's going to be good. So I think Kyle Duggar's going to I think he's going to be out there immediately. I think he's going to be starting at safety for him. And then every league I'm in, there's return yards. So that's a big reason why I'm a huge fan. He was second in the nation in return yards.
You think he's going to get that job?
I think so. They're using him there. They're trying him out there. I think he's going to get it. Yeah, but he had like 900 yards and 6 touchdowns his career in college. So he knows what he's doing back there. If he gets that slot, yeah, he's going to be very valuable for us.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a yes for me as well. Just because I don't like Bill Belichick's track record as far as drafting like first round picks, but these late round guys, it's like everyone was like Kyle Duggar for the Patriots. What's that all about? But Bill clearly sees something in Duggar, and with these kind of rave reviews coming out of camp already, best player on the field that's some high praise. There's like 80 guys on the field right now for these teams. So
yeah.
If he's getting these kind of rave reviews, I think you can safely bump Kyle Duggar up your board.
And what's the best part about him? He's cheap still.
That's right.
No, the secret's not out yet. Like that's why when I say like, yeah, I'm in on these guys, it's because like they're basically free. Like he's owned probably, I think he might have been drafted or picked up in most of your leagues at this point. But if you're drafting today, like seriously, he's going like safety 30.
I was gonna say if he's after safety 40, 35 even, I'm probably still, if he starts creeping into that like top 30 back into the 20s, I'm probably gonna stay away at that point.
I think even in Shark City, I think like he was like safety 24. I need to do that.
Break it out by position and see. Yeah, that would be fun to look at. We'll talk about that on the next
Shark City still going on.
We might not make it before the season starts.
Everyone. We'll be fine. That's been a lot of fun though.
It has been
fun seeing those guys.
Appreciate everyone that's been part of it. So, all right. In other safety news, Addy, we're going over to the Cincinnati Bengals and talking about Von Bell is hitting so hard that the coaches had to tell him to ease up. So I'm going to give you my Von Bell take, and it is,
Yes.
I have been in on Von Bell since he went to Cincy. I know it's a bit murky there because you have Jesse Bates, you have Sean Williams, but Von Bell is the best safety of the three. He's clearly just itching to take someone's head off. Give me all the Von Bell shares. Just inject them straight into my veins this season.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Now, Sean Williams got carted off.
He did.
But
it wasn't as bad as what people thought. It sounds like he's going to avoid missing. Yeah.
Sounds like he's going to be okay.
Oh, we're happy for you, Sean.
Yeah. So that's, that I've been kind of avoiding that situation just because I'm a little unsure of the usage. Obviously, we know Bates is going to be the free safety. We know Vaughn's going to be the strong safety. And a lot of people talk about, they're probably going to use Sean Williams in the nickel linebacker. Yeah, maybe they are. We also don't really know.
We have no idea
what they're going to do. So we can guess all we want. But when it comes to guessing, I usually just avoid.
Yeah, I'd rather not. Just let the situation sort itself out. And if someone guesses right, good for them.
Right.
Like, I won't be upset that, congrats, you guessed correctly on how
Yeah.
this was going to shake out.
But Vaughn is definitely the safety I want out of all three. I think he's the one that has the best finish. I think I have him at safety 11 in my ranks.
I think that's close to where he is for me too.
And you know, if Sean Williams really was hurt,
yeah,
Will's freaking up.
Will's
we're
way
talking
up.
like top 6
I think
potential.
so. I think he cracks that top half of the DB1 conversation for me.
But yeah, Vaughn's the piece I want.
So let's move to Baltimore and talk about the guy that we mentioned a little early. Not Yannick Ngakoue. He's not there yet. Sorry, Michael Lombardi. We know you doubled down, but you were wrong. It's okay, buddy. Calais Campbell has been a constant presence in the backfield. Are you buying that he's going to be back there a lot, Eddie?
Yes.
Yeah, this is an easy one for me too.
Yep, he's going to be motivated more than he ever has been. Well, at least since that year Jacksonville was good. He's just a good setup for him, man. I'm excited for him.
He's got the grown man strength, as we
Yes.
know. He's on the grown man strength Mount Rushmore.
Yep.
So he has that going for him. The defensive line is okay in Baltimore.
It's
but
okay.
He's easily the best piece there, in my opinion.
I like what they've done. I like that they got Patrick Queen in there.
You have Matt Judon, kind of as like this edge rusher.
Who's the guy from Denver that they brought in?
Shelby? Was that Shelby or Wolf? Derek Wolf?
Derek Wolf. They brought in Derek Wolf. So yeah. I like Calais Campbell. Calais Campbell, he's what, 46 now?
Yeah, 56.
But he's still, I think he had like 70 plus pressures last year.
Are you going to bet against Calais Campbell?
No.
The answer is no.
No.
You just don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I think he's top 15 for me right now in redraft. I just think he's a guy that I have been waiting for the wheels to fall off.
Yeah.
And I just don't think, I think I might actually like his setup better in Baltimore now than I did. I mean, he had a nice setup in Jacksonville, don't get me wrong, but I'm not going to be surprised if Calais Campbell cracks like the top 12 this year of defensive linemen.
He's the guy, man. He's the guy there now. I mean, he had all those pressures last year, just didn't get home on a lot of sacks, but he had Yannick and Josh Allen dealing, to deal with competition. So, yeah, I'm in on Calais this year.
Love it. So we got another good question from Boo Bam. He says, Calais Campbell or Justin Houston this season?
Ooh, that's good, man. I'm a big Justin Houston fan.
Me as well.
I think I got to go Justin Houston there just because, I'm pretty sure I have him in the top 15. I think I've got Calais a little outside of that.
Yeah, I think for me, it's probably Calais by a nose, just because of the opportunity there. And that's always really tough for
They're
IDP
close,
purposes. Like, is it better, for IDP production when you have other premier defensive linemen alongside you? Like Houston now has DeForest Buckner. They could both be top 15 guys. You have Calais Campbell in Baltimore. He's really the best guy along that defensive line, but he does have guys like Shelby and Matt Judon.
Chuck Clark, he's always a blitzing safety.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think it's Calais, but it's really, really close.
Yeah. Houston for me, just because I'm excited to see DeForest Buckner there. We talked about Teray. There's a lot of pieces, offensive lines are going to have to focus on.
Yeah, agreed.
I think Justin Houston maybe the third piece.
Yeah. Third piece behind DeForest Buckner and the Maniac.
It's crazy.
That defense might actually be good.
Speaking of the Maniac, I posted a video recently of the Maniac, just like a little bitty, like a 30-second clip. That dude is a maniac.
He is a maniac.
He's crazy.
Was it when he was on the field? Like, guys, we're going to hit somebody, guys.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
a little unstable.
But that's what you want.
I love that.
Love it so much.
Yeah.
I mean, just LB 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way down through 12.
Man.
Just
he's worth it.
Give me all of it. Did you see the Phillip Rivers mic'd up segment that was kind of floating around from a couple days ago?
It's pretty good.
I will say, Rivers over the years, I've grown to appreciate him more. But at the same time, throwing motion, it just looks like it's getting worse. Like the arm has always been about here. He's been about 3/4 is about the highest he can possibly get that arm. And it looks like it's getting down more to like 50, like a sidearm type of throw.
Yeah, it's a concern.
I was
think
like,
he's okay.
oh, okay. But, there's so many guys that have speed on this team now that, he's got weapons galore. We don't need him to chuck it,
No, you
50
really
yards
don't.
down the field.
No, I mean, I'm sure he'll take some shots to Pittman. He's been getting some.
Pittman's been getting Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, baby.
Oh, man. Some of those videos coming out, some of the hype. I know you were sweating at your cubicle reading all the tweets. All right, well, let's roll through these, Addy. Todd Davis is poised to miss some games.
Yes.
This happened last season. We saw that, I believe it was a calf injury.
Yeah.
Cost him a couple games.
Same injury that happened today. So, but the injury last year was July 18th. And I had forgot that he actually missed the first 2 games because of it.
Yeah.
That's not good, folks.
And here we are at August 20th, a month later. So you have to wonder, does he miss 6 games now? If that was the recovery last time caused him to miss 2?
That would be the timeline. And also you worry. So he didn't get the surgery on this calf. But he re-aggravated it a year later. So
that's not good.
That's not great.
No, not great. So do you think, the question is, Justin Sternad time?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'm going to go with BS on that one. I will admit, when I was editing the rookie draft mag for IDP guys, I saw that and I thought, what freaking idiot misspelled Justin Strand? Like, guys, and you misspelled it repeatedly. And then I Googled it and I was literally flabbergasted to learn there was a player named Justin Sternad.
Yeah, I know he has the weirdest name in the league now. Our boy Kyle B is a big fan. That is make me have a little pause. I do trust our boy Bellinelli.
Don't we think Josie Jewell, though?
That's kind of where I'm at.
It makes more sense that he'll be alongside AJ Johnson. We love AJ Johnson.
Oh God, I love AJ. I was thinking about this today. I don't think there's a player I love more this year than AJ Johnson.
Is it the wood chopping? Yeah, it's the wood chopping.
And we talked about the wood chopping. I remembered it as that at some point. Bro, he's chopping down whole ass trees.
Is he really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
He's not just chopping wood. He's chopping down trees, dude.
He's a man.
He's a man.
Make no mistake. This bumps up AJ Johnson big time for me.
Oh my God.
I think you could safely have AJ Johnson inside your top 30 linebackers at this point, top 25.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
But I think Josie Jewell is going to be the guy alongside him, not necessarily Sternad right now.
Yeah, I think Todd Davis is going to maybe be okay and eventually come back. So yeah, I would think they're going to go with Josie Jewell.
Don't drop Todd Davis. Just
no, Lord, no, don't do that at all.
Put him on your taxi squad, put him at the back, because when he comes back, he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
We know this.
Yep. Yeah. Todd Davis is, he's underrated. He's usually a lock for like 130 tackles a year. So yeah, don't drop him, but AJ Johnson, wheels up. I'll reiterate again. AJ Johnson, only played 12 games, 93 tackles. That's 7.75 a game. He was the 3rd highest rated linebacker on PFF behind only Eric Kendricks and Demario Davis.
Dang. That's some nice company to be in right there.
That's good, man. And he played over 700 snaps. Like, they had a very healthy sample size. That's impressive.
Do you think that, what's his ceiling? Are you absolutely flabbergasted if he's top 12?
No,
end of season?
Absolutely not.
You think that's the ceiling?
I think that's the ceiling.
I would agree.
I think if he would have played a full season, all 16 games, I think he might have been all over that, at least top 18.
Yeah, agreed. All right, another linebacker we absolutely love in the division, Willie Gay Jr., has earned the nickname Turbo because he's so fast. Do you think he will be Turbo rising up the linebacker ranks, Addy?
Yes.
Absolutely, 100%. Hit it again.
Yes.
This is a big time yes for me. We know that the linebackers there alongside Gay in Kansas City are absolute butt.
Yep.
And Willie Gay is already the best linebacker on this team. It's funny, when I heard about the draft pick with Willie Gay Jr., someone made the comment, oh, they're trying to go with like this Corvette speed element on the defense like they have on the offense. And now hearing this, it kind of confirms that original comment of like the Chiefs defense is just trying to speed up here. They're trying to play fast.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's not, it's not a really good defense. They just have a few pieces here and there.
Yeah. They have some playmakers, Chris Jones,
Frank Clark,
Honey Badger,
Now
Willie Gay.
Yep.
So Juan Thornhill when he gets back on the field.
Right.
So yeah, that is Willie Gay. I don't think I could have him enough places right now.
No, man.
I found myself drafting him more and more.
Agree. And the I don't think he's still a value. I mean,
is.
He's
I
still
don't think
going
he's-
after
yeah.
the other rookies. Still,
He
he's
is.
Kenneth Murray, Isaiah Simmons, Patrick Queen,
Patrick Queen.
which Patrick Queen should.
Willie Gay's probably number 2 for me right now in
Yeah.
terms of rookie linebackers.
He should be I want him over Isaiah Simmons.
I would agree.
And Kenneth Murray's dealing with some knee swelling right now.
Yeah, that you could make an argument for either Murray or because they're both in a similar situation. Clearly the best linebacker in the room already.
And I am a little worried about Patrick Queen just because of we know how much Baltimore controls time of possession. Is he going to get the opportunity that some of these other linebackers are going to get? That's one concern. But yeah, Willie Gay, do not be surprised if he is the best linebacker out of these rookies.
I would not disagree there at all, Addy. Let's talk J.J. Watt. This is a guy I know you've been rising on, but he didn't practice for the 5th straight day. Bill O'Brien said, don't look too much into it. It's going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Are you worried at all about J.J. Watt? Yeah, not worried.
No, not worried. You can't. Let him rest. Why would he be out there?
Yeah, that's a good
Why
point.
would he be out there at all? J.J. Watt, only 8 games last year, still had 50 pressures. The league leader was Darius Smith with 93.
That's pretty
J.J.
good.
Watt played 8 games.
That's pretty good, J.J.
He was on pace to be the best.
So I will say I am
YASSS.
just in that I am a little worried. Now, if he comes out and practices next week, this becomes I'm not worried at all situation. But just being J.J. Watt with the history of injuries, missing the games, it just gave me a little pause that it's been 5 days in a row. I understand maintenance days, O'Brien talked about ramp up period. It's different for everyone. But 5 days for J.J. Watt has me a little nervous. Let's talk about Watt's former teammate, Jadeveon Clowney. Addy, he wants $15 million. The Titans have about $22 million in cap space. One of the teams that reportedly offered Clowney and he turned it down. So do you think a deal gets done?
YASSS.
You do. You think the Titans are going to add Clowney?
I think they should. Seems like Vic Beasley's not going to pan out.
Well, yeah. What's the latest with Beasley? I know he wasn't reporting, but I haven't heard really.
I haven't been following up either. But yeah, I mean, doesn't seem good. Doesn't seem good that the guy you brought in is ghosting you.
Yeah, he's like, anybody seen Vic? Anybody talk to Vic? Anybody know where Vic is? Oh no? Okay. Yeah, maybe we should get on that. I think this kind of reminds me of a situation where you and one of your league mates have been making flirty eyes at each other over a potential trade. You're kind of doing the dance. You're kind of feeling each other out. You know it's going to happen at some point. That's the way I feel about the Titans and Clowney right now. They have the cap space. I think they know with Tannehill and Derrick Henry, their window's not going to stay open forever, especially, with the teams that are kind of coming along in the AFC South. The Colts should be contenders. The Texans, we'll see, but they have Deshaun Watson, best quarterback in the division. And then the Jags could bottom out and very easily end up with Justin Fields or what's his name? Trevor Lawrence. So I think the Titans know that this is their time. This next year, last year, this year, and probably the next year, if Tannehill's legit, it's the time to make a run for it. So, but that said, I don't think a deal gets done. I think Jadeveon Clowney is going to sit out this entire season.
Wow.
I really do.
Dang.
$15 million. Though from what I was reading, it seems like some people around the league are like, you may be sitting for a while, bro, because I don't think you're going to get that. And I think from what we're hearing out of his camp, he'd be fine with that.
The Titans should bring him in.
Get it done.
What are y'all doing?
You would help your team. You have the cap space. He wants $15 million. Give him a 1 year, $15 million deal, and let's move on.
What are you saving it for? What do you need it for?
Seriously.
Pay him what he wants, man. Get him in there. Do 1 year deal. And also Clowney, don't miss out on $15 million.
Get the money now.
That's the most you can get.
Because the cap's going down next year.
Yeah, bro.
Don't be dumb. Get your money now while you can. All right. Dallas Cowboys. Aldon Smith's return has been everything the boys have hoped it would be. But I'm still going for one important reason. Everson Griffin, I think, alongside DeMarcus Lawrence. Those are the two defensive linemen I'm most interested in Dallas. Aldon Smith, if he makes it back, if he's turned his life around, I will be very, very happy for him. But given his absence from the NFL, I'm not buying in as a valuable IDP contributor this year, maybe as like a taxi squad stash, but not a guy I'm going to be angling to get, looking to start him at any point during the season. Addy, what about you?
Whew, he's free.
There's a lot of guys that are free.
Gerald McCoy. A lot of guys didn't have a season where they put up 19 and a half sacks.
When was that, though?
That was 2012.
2012. Okay, I just wanted to be sure that was
Simpler times. Remember back then, man?
It was.
Shoo-wee.
I miss those days. I could
Man.
actually eat at a restaurant.
Things were quite different back in 2012.
Quite different. So yeah, I'm not buying. They're probably thrilled because up until they signed Everson Griffin, that defensive line was not looking too good.
Not good, but they did just lose Gerald McCoy.
They did. That does help.
So I don't know. We'll see. It's keep on your radar. If
Could be better for the Cowboys than for your IDP team.
Yeah.
I think that's the lens to look at this through.
I mean, if he comes out week 1 and gets a sack, add him.
Why not? There's going to be a lot of dudes like that are the question marks. We'll get more clarity on, and you can make a decision then. But I'm not going to be adding Alden Smith.
Yes, obviously, it's unlikely that he's back to his 2012 ways here in 2020. But still, it's
in the range of outcomes. He could be a valuable contributor.
People are saying nice things about him.
That's nice.
I like that.
Okay, all right, I'll give you that.
Did I do anything?
No, you didn't do anything.
So I'm buying into Alden Smith.
Yeah, like just as a valuable IDP piece.
YASSS.
Nah. Give me more of that. All right, so I know where you're going on this one. Chase Young threw an offensive lineman aside, and Twitter lost its mind. Chase Young, just the concept of Chase Young, Addy. Just
YASSS.
yes. You got cheering.
YASSS.
Yes, it is. It's Chase Young season, baby. I can't wait. Give me all the Twitter videos. I want them all. I'm just going to set up an alert, a Google alert that's like Chase Young hype video has been posted. I want it to play on my TV in my living room.
He's a freak.
He's a freak, dude.
He's a freak.
I
know it was maybe like a third string offensive lineman that he just tossed like a rag doll, but still.
The big man he just threw around like he was a small child.
I like seeing it. I like seeing a rookie come in and just do that shit.
It's like, is he already the best defensive lineman in Washington?
Oh, for sure.
And that's high praise. Washington's defensive line might be the best in the league alongside San Francisco. Yeah, man. Ooh, Chase Young won it. I think I have him number 4 right now in my defensive line ranks.
Yeah, I'm ready. We don't need to be surprised if he comes out and is like defensive end 1 or 2.
Yep.
I mean, Nick Bosa was that good. He's better than Nick Bosa. We all think he was,
I agree. I think I have Nick Bosa slightly ahead of him just because he has the year of experience on Chase Young.
Yep.
But Young, if he stays healthy, if we get 16 games, he's a lock for defensive player or a rookie defensive player of the year.
Yeah, that's a safe move. If you got the biggins, put Chase Young up here at the top.
That number 1?
Sir.
I ain't that big. Danielle Hunter's still in the league, and Myles Garrett's still in the league.
No.
So moving on here to Chicago, Addy, one of our favorite players, Akeem Hicks, giving offensive linemen problems in Chicago.
Grown ass man.
We buying the bounce back from Akeem Hicks.
YASSS.
Absolutely, baby.
Absolutely, we're buying it.
Buying
We
that
love
whole
it.
bounce back on that whole Chicago line. They missed this guy greatly.
They really did.
I'm not sure that he's not the most important piece of that defense.
There's a great Dave Damashek theory called the Jenga piece theory. I know you've heard of this before, talking about non-quarterback, who's the most important player on a team, where if you take that piece out, the whole tower comes tumbling down. Might have been Akeem Hicks.
Might have
for
been
the Chicago Bears.
Akeem the Dream.
That's
Big
right.
fan.
Yeah, I'm with you as well. I love Akeem Hicks for IDP this year.
Hey, and he's going to have more help than he's ever had.
That's right. You talk about free. I mean, have you seen Akeem Hicks drafted many places so far this offseason?
Great point. No.
I don't think so. That's a guy. Just take a look, see if he's on your waiver wire. And if you've got the space, I mean, it's dependent upon your roster. You may have some nice defensive line depth. But if you're needing somebody, add Akeem Hicks.
He's a force, man.
He is a force.
He gets to the quarterback. He's good.
So let's talk about your boys, Addy. Minnesota Vikings. Adam Thielen told Coach Mike Zimmer that new cornerback Cameron Dantzler is going to be really good. Are you doing the Dantzler dance?
I
Yes.
have to.
You have to. You're obligated. I had been seeing a lot of this guy, which is not typical because cornerback, not exactly the sexiest position. You know, I follow a lot of like regular IDP or regular NFL beat writers and analysts, but man, Dantzler has been showing up on the timeline this past week, getting a lot of buzz. As a Vikings fan, what are you, the whispers from the bushes? Are you hearing good things about Dantzler?
Well, I mean, you know, 3rd round pick. I mean, we'll see. It definitely, you know, this is great. This is great to hear it from the jump, and we desperately need him. That
cornerback group is not good.
It's not good. Yeah, we lost Trey Waynes, and he wasn't good.
Lost Xavier Rhodes, and he wasn't good.
He wasn't good. So yeah, it's a lot of new faces. I'm expecting it to look a lot different this year in Minnesota. But yeah, I've been hearing great things about these rookies so far, and that's a great endorsement. Adam Thielen's one of the best receivers in the league.
Yes.
It's a yes for me as well, just because if you're getting the Adam Thielen stamp of approval and making plays in training camp as a rookie at cornerback, which is one of the hardest positions. We always talk about how these rookie corners get picked on. Pay attention to Dantzler.
Zimmer had a great quote the other day. Someone asked him about, you know, kind of what I said about the defense being different and if he was concerned. And Zimmer responded, "I've never had a bad defense. I don't plan on having a bad defense this year."
That's pretty baller.
That's baller.
Zimmer got him a new contract. He's feeling himself. Him and Rick Spielman tied at the hip now for Minnesota. I love it. I think you guys would have been crazy to let Zimmer get out the door.
Yeah, I agree. I like Zimmer. Kind of wish he was a little more open-minded with the offense sometimes.
Yeah, he probably oversteps a little bit with the offense.
Right. But yeah, I'm a big fan of him. He's a funny dude. He's a good coach, and yeah.
Almost lost his eyeball at one point.
Yeah, man.
I don't know what was going on with all that.
Lost his wife. He's just been through a lot, man. But he's he's got the respect of the team. You know,
y'all have Gary Kubiak this year as your offensive coordinator. I love that.
We've got a really good staff.
It's a good coaching staff.
Yeah.
Like, I love Kubiak. I thought he was a great head coach, had to step aside for health reasons.
Absolutely.
If you can have a coach like that as one of your coordinators.
And he's so good at play action. And it's a great
running game's going to be great.
It's going to be a good fit there.
I love it. So a few more here, Addie. You're one of your babies. Buda Baker said the energy is live and in effect at Cardinals camp. Arrow up for the Cardinals defense this season.
Yes.
Absolutely, dude.
Easy choice right there.
I mean, we know about Chandler Jones. We know about Jordan Hicks. We know about Buda Baker. We know about Patrick Peterson. To bring in Jordan Phillips, Devondre Campbell, and then icing on the cake, Isaiah freaking Simmons.
Yeah.
They had to be just
drooling there
to get him in the draft.
Absolutely.
They thought they had no shot at him. They got Isaiah Simmons now.
That's amazing.
So I don't know that a team had a better offseason than the Cardinals.
You go get DeAndre freaking Hopkins for David Johnson's terrible contract.
It's absurd.
You have, Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray coming into year 2.
Mm-hmm.
You bring back Kenyon Drake on the transition tag.
Still got Fitz there. Got Christian Kirk healthy.
Larry Fitzgerald, Hall of Famer. Larry Fitzgerald is now your wide receiver 3.
That's crazy, man.
That's amazing.
They're going to be good. I'm excited about them. Yes, this could be one of those teams that just takes that huge leap that we look up. Oh shit, they're 12-4.
They're the Baltimore Ravens of 2020.
Yep.
Kyler takes that Lamar type of step. Not saying he's going to be the MVP, just that he could take a huge step forward. The team has improved. Like they have put the investment, and the draft picks they've made the moves. With the trades. I'm all in. Buda Baker. You're right. The energy is alive and well. I must have been drawn, Addie, towards some guys that you're loving here, because the next guy, D. Ford, said Javon Kinlaw's mindset thus far reminds him of Nick Bosa. So, Javon Kinlaw, interested in IDP for 2020?
For 2020, nah.
Long term?
Yes.
Yeah, they need him. Because if you liked DeForest Buckner, they drafted Javon Kinlaw as the Buckner replacement. So I think by extension, you have to be interested at least in what Kinlaw could become for IDP.
Yep. I think Kinlaw was the guy we all liked the most out of between him and Malcolm Brown.
Derek Brown,
sorry. Yeah, so I mean, I think that's who I like.
I think I'm with you as far as for 2020, not so much interested.
Right.
There are other pieces
It's
of that
just
defensive line.
It's just tough for a defensive tackle, interior lineman to translate year one.
But if you're in a rookie draft near the back, I mean, I wouldn't blame you.
No,
if you
he's
wanted
free.
to take
Yeah.
him and stash him, try to get some usage out of him in year 2, year 3. That's where I'm going to be anticipating the breakout.
Yeah, I feel like I got Kinlaw in maybe the 7th round of a few rookie drafts this offseason.
That's nice. That's about right. I wouldn't want to take him in a 5-round draft. There's
Right.
just too much talent now to take a defensive tackle that's a couple years away. But in a 7 round, yeah, that would make sense.
But look what happened last year with Oliver and Quinn Williams. It just takes a little bit.
It does. That's a tough position to adjust to. All right, Addy, a few more here. Brock Heward said he expects a battle between KJ Wright and Jordan Brooks for that linebacker spot alongside Bobby Wagner and Bruce Irvin. So do you think KJ Wright wins the job over Jordan Brooks?
Yes.
You do?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. Johnny actually posted something today in our Shark City Slack.
I saw that. That's what made me think of it, actually.
Yeah. So he's saying that, we've been seeing all the buzz around Twitter that they're trying him pretty much as like an outside linebacker and put him on the edge. And that would be devastating for his IDP value.
Yes, it would.
But it seems that's going to be the plan moving forward, like longer term for KJ Wright, like next year. So they're just giving him some reps there, trying him out there, seeing what he can do there. But apparently he's going to be fine and in the same role that he was last year for 2020. So I think Jordan Brooks is still a year away.
Think he's a year away.
I think so.
So I know Heward was actually, and I don't know if Heward has like a Seattle-based like radio show that he's doing or something, why he was plugging in as a former quarterback on the Seahawks linebacker situation. But he really did believe that Jordan Brooks was going to give KJ Wright a run for his money. Something to pay attention to. And the reason I'm actually going to go on KJ that job is because he is set to be an unrestricted free agent after this year.
Yeah. So
I don't think that they're invested in KJ Wright long term. That said, now you could make the argument, well, then aren't they going to kind of use him up and get their money's worth before he hits the open market? Yeah, you could definitely make that case, and I wouldn't fault you if you did. They also don't have an investment in him past this season. So I don't think they're going to be upset if Jordan Brooks comes out and wins that job. I'm just the more, and we'll see how it pans out. I'm really going to pay attention to this year. The more we've gone along here and done this show and done IDP, the rookie linebackers for me are sort of like rookie running backs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tend to give them the benefit of the doubt and give them the slight edge over the incumbent who maybe, isn't a locked and loaded starter.
Yeah. And they hold their value great.
They do.
Yeah.
So you still think KJ Wright though wins the job?
It's an avoid really for me. I mean, I'm not going to be having any of these guys either way. So I don't know.
No Bobby Wagner?
Well, Bobby Wagner, yeah, but that's the
course.
only one. Like when it comes to this uncertainty stuff and like, yeah, we don't really know. We're trying to guess. I'm just going to avoid.
We know Bobby Wagner is good.
Yes,
He's
that's
gonna
who we
be
want.
fine.
I really don't want to deal with the left. I've never had KJ Wright much.
No,
he was really solid last year, but he's usually not someone I'm after.
Nope. Yeah.
So
give me Bobby Wagner.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not. I'll let somebody else. Like I said,
Jordan Brooks. Hell yeah, we want him next year.
That's
sure.
right. That's right.
Because Wagner's getting up there in age as well.
He is.
He won't be there forever.
He will not. So 2 more here. Devin White thinks he can play 10 times faster this year. Are you thinking got some high hopes for Devin White this season, Addy?
Yes.
Oh yeah. All in. This if the fantasy footballers just did their My Guys episode this week, and if we had one like that, I think Devin White, maybe Jonathan Abram. Unsurprisingly, all guys on my XFFL squad, but there's a reason for that. In my most important favorite league, I want to own the guys I believe in most, and Devin White is at the very top of that list.
So sexy. I don't know that there's a sexier linebacker than Devin White.
And Levante David next to him, like that is so nice.
And this is going to be, they got a track field offense. They're going to be airing it out. Defense is going to be out there, I think, a lot.
I think they have some nice IDP players. I don't think they have a great defense.
Right.
Their cornerbacks are
much
garbage.
Very much like Kansas City.
Absolutely.
Although that defensive line, really, the defensive line and then the 2 linebackers behind them, that's about as good as it gets, really.
But that secondary is
not good.
Really not good.
Although the verdicts, we don't know about Antonio Winfield Jr. yet. He could really be good. I liked him in college a lot. So
you like Whitehead a lot.
I like Whitehead a lot.
But those
he was hurt all last year.
Those cornerbacks are going to get toasted this year, though.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the Achilles heel. I think that's going to keep that defense on the field a lot and not let them get off the field. In a passing league, you want to have good cornerbacks, and they might have the worst group in the NFL.
But I love Devin White. Devin White, he's going to get the tackles, and he's going to get the big plays.
And he's riding a horse. I mean, come on. Talk about chopping down trees. Riding horses is grown man behavior.
That's what we want, yeah.
So give me all the Devin White. Finally, I wish Bobby was here.
I know.
Bobby will be back with us next week. But Jeremy Chin has been picking Luke Kuechly's brain. Addie, Jeremy Chin, hit me with it. Yes. Let me one more time.
Yes.
Easy.
Is there been a faster riser for you since, let's say, the summer started than Jeremy Chin in the IDP world? I don't think I can't think of anyone that jumps to mind for me.
I think he's penciled in all of our top 12s.
Yes.
I mean, that's crazy. How often does that happen?
A rookie safety jumps into the top 12. It's not a position where
Derwin being put in the top 12 when he came out. I don't think so.
I don't think so either. No.
I mean, not immediately. Like that's but yeah, there's just no one has a better situation than him. We saw Eric Reed. He was second in the league in tackles last year. Chin's going to be in that same role. And also no more Luke Kuechly now. That team was already the worst run defense in the league, and they lost Luke Kuechly. So they're going to be bad again. I know they addressed their first 7 picks. They went defense or whatever.
The whole draft was defense.
That's good. That's good for the defense, but they had a lot of work to do.
This is going to be the worst defense in the league, I think.
Yeah.
It's young, so it's up and coming, but yeah, it's going to be I'm interested. Of course, we know Shaq Thompson. We know Tahir Whitehead.
Brian Burns.
Extremely handsome. Brian Burns will be useful. Jeremy Chin will be useful. Yetur Gross-Matos, maybe, we'll see. But I love the videos. I think someone posted a video. Jeremy Chin was the first person at the facility, hitting the bags.
Yeah.
I'm just all in, man. I know Bobby said that all the hype at a training camp was he had to go home and change his pants when he was watching the highlights because we're in that season right now. We're in hype season, as we know, hence this segment. But so that has been 24 hype storylines. Addie, we're only an hour and 7 minutes in. I'm so proud of us.
This is the new us. We
That's
got the
right.
new mixer in. We're going to try and keep it a little tighter.
Keep it tight.
At year 2 leap.
It cannot stop Adam from yelling, by God, but it will put a nice little hard limiter on him so it doesn't blow out your ear drums. Thank you. Thank you, Road. That's the name of the board, Addie. Road. It's right there. You can call him Rody. I think it actually is pronounced Rody.
Rody.
So we hope you all enjoyed this episode. We will be back next week. Bobby will be joining us. We will hopefully have Dr. Leezus. Make sure to give our boy Dr. Leezus a follow over on Twitter.
Yeah, don't follow his personal account. There's one that's Leezus with 14 E's. Don't follow that one. He's got one that's Dr. Leezus.
Dr. Leezus just
2
started.
E's.
Yeah. And he will be handling our Saturday. He'll be looking at all of the sort of injury reports that are coming out on Friday. He'll be doing a Saturday morning episode breaking down the injuries you need to be mindful of to fantasy relevant players on both sides of the ball. That will be dropping in our main podcast feed for the Big Three, not on any kind of Patreon or anything like that, just in the normal feed Saturday mornings. We're hoping to have him back for the NFC West preview, but yeah, go check him out on Twitter, Dr. Leezus. It's going to be a lot of fun. Big things as always, Andy. Well, thank you all for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll be back at you all next week. Until then, take care, stay safe, go get you some Zaxby's.